Lots going on, Neil. Let's start with someone who's left, Tyrone Barnett, a move that suits all parties.
Well, I think for Tyrone, he obviously needed to, to go out somewhere and play football. I think that's the main thing, and getting a club at the same level, I think, is good for Tyrone. And like I say, there's never been any fallout between myself and Tyrone, but I made the decision that he wasn't going to be part of the squad, so it's better that he goes out and plays football, and now he's got the chance to do that.
Are you happy? I mean, obviously you've brought lots of players in, but with the business that you've been able to do with players leaving, are you happy with how you've been able to balance it out?
I think you've got to try and balance the books, and you're always looking at maybe some players that you take a gamble on. If they don't come off, you've got to try and move them on. So I think you're always assessing and trying to balance the books. So I think you do that all the time. It's not always going to be ideal in what you sort of, if you've got player surplus, what sort of money can you get back for them, but I don't think we've done too badly in that department.
Lewis Hardcastle coming in on loan from Blackburn, what was the thought process there? What made him stand out?
He's a player that I've watched a few years ago when he went on loan to Salford as a young lad, and he's obviously been somebody that I have kept an eye on, but it was mainly the fact that especially in Saturday's game, I just felt with the two injuries we had to midfield players and not having any sort of younger legs in there, I felt that we needed to probably get somebody obviously untried, but somebody who would be a different type in terms of being younger and more energetic to get about the pitch.
Ben Whitfield's coming back. How has that come about?
Ben, obviously we've had numerous discussions on Ben, and my position has never changed. The Ben Whitfield that played when I joined, and certainly through December, did very well, was an asset to the team, worked exceptionally hard, and was getting a lot of attention because of his performances on the pitch. And then after the discussion we had regarding trying to sign him and with his agent, he was never the same player after that, and obviously I was disappointed with what had gone on with his agent, and I didn't want to speak to him, to be honest. I haven't spoken to his agent, and subsequently I think he's changed his agent. But the main thing is that I think in football and in life you've got to give people another chance. So the chairman's always been keen to bring him back to the club, I must say that. So he was saying, if we could bring him back, would he, would I be happy with that? And I said, of course, I'll always be happy with having an extra player in the squad. But I said I wanted to meet with Ben and his father first and speak to him, and we've done that. And as far as I'm concerned now, it's fresh start, and he will be considered like all the other players, for a place in the team.
I saw someone post on social media yesterday when the story came out about a slate possibly being wiped clean. From your point of view then, from what you just said there, was there something to wipe off this slate?
Yeah, look, it was nothing to do with... I will pick a player, obviously, regardless of what goes on. If a player's training well and he's playing well in the games, you'd be foolish to not be playing him in the team. But I wasn't happy. The reason that Ben Whitfield didn't figure as much was because he didn't play well enough. That's why he didn't play, not because of any other reason. But I wasn't happy. If I was going to go forward, then I felt that we needed to clear the air, and that's what we've done. And now it's in the past, and he's got a fresh start here, and we have a player who wants to do well, wants to play for the club, and he's probably had a kick up the backside and now wants to prove what he can do.
So he's come in as a free agent. What do you know about him fitness-wise at the moment? Is he in a position where he could be in contention for Saturday?
He's trained all the time with Bournemouth up until the middle of August, so he's certainly in contention to be included in the squad.
What are you thinking about Saturday? Because things obviously away from home haven't gone as well as you would have liked. Does that put more pressure on you when you come back here, where you've done well in the league so far?
No, we're under pressure every game to get a result, but I think that we rightly get criticism for if we don't play well. But again, now this week we got the apology from the Lincoln game, which said it wasn't a penalty. We now had an apology which says that we should have had a penalty in the Carlisle game, and we've had an apology to say we should have had a penalty in the Tranmere game. So it's very rare to have 3 games in succession where officials admit that they've made a mistake. But it's not helping our course. But I'd like to think that although we didn't play brilliantly in the last 2 games, we would have had a penalty to equalise at Carlisle, which would have put us in a strong position going into the last 20 odd minutes of the game, and we'd have got a penalty in the last couple of minutes at Tranmere, which would have covered over not a great performance. But we could have been talking about 2 draws where we wouldn't be under as much pressure for Saturday. So those decisions are affecting us. They play a big part in the game, and it's about time we started getting some in our favour.
Decisions aside, fans after Saturday were saying you're being too direct. What would you say to that?
I wouldn't say we've been too direct. I would say we've mixed our play up, but we haven't played well enough. I think if you watch the game through again, it's not a case of hitting long balls all the time. I just don't think we played with wing backs who, in theory, should have been pushing forward, and they didn't, and they got pushed back. And then when you've got 2 midfield players who are more defensive, you then end up with 7 players back behind the ball, and in a gap between the midfield and the forwards. So I don't think it's a case of long balls, but like I say, as we know, everybody's an expert on football, and I'm sure everybody's got the solution to where we're going wrong.
What do you know about Newport finally?
Newport are a strong team. They've been very competitive in the since they avoided relegation. They were competitive last year and they improved. They've hit some better form the last couple of weeks in the league. They're always a strong team. I think the setup is quite similar, but they've changed personnel. It's not going to be. Unfortunately, you're never going to get any games where you think to yourself, well, you should be getting 3 points, because it's not like that. But I always think, even though we're not picking up points away, I always think every game we play we have a chance of getting a result, and I feel the same for Saturday.